So inviting our distinguished guest of honor, General Dr. V.K. Singh, the Honorable Minister of State for Civil Aviation. We have Shri Rajiv Bansal ji, respected Secretary Civil Aviation, Shri Sanjeev Kumar, Chairman Airports Authority of India, if I can, he's going to be joining us shortly, and Srimati Usha Padi, the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation. And good greetings to all present to this very distinguished gathering where we have our Honorable Minister of State and the other senior officials from the ministry. Present with us are also the senior officials from various state government officials present with us, the honorable ambassadors, the distinguished diplomats, and then we also have the other stakeholders across this huge value chain of the civil aviation sector. Thank you to all of you joining us in this very exclusive precursor event, the curtain raiser to Wings India 2022. And ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the success of the previous event, the Wings India 2020, and it's the numbers which speak about the success which we saw in spite of the pandemic, close to 600 plus delegates, 110 plus exhibitors. We had some 12 chalets which were placed, and 14 airlines participated, 15 aircrafts in static display. So all that volumes speak about the success of that event, and pursuant to the success of that, once again, we have the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Airports Authority of India, and FICCI coming together with greater vigor towards organizing Wings India 2022, which is ready to extend a more congenial environment, catering to the changing dynamics of our aviation sector, especially after the pandemic, and focusing on new business investments, policy formulation, and regional connectivity. And as we go further, we would like to express our extreme thanks to General Dr. V.K. Singh, our Honorable Minister of State, for joining us and extending his dynamic leadership and guidance to us today. I would like to request, as FICCI stands as one of our key partners towards organizing this event, would like to request Shri Remy Malad, the Chairman of FICCI Aviation Committee, and the MD of Airbus. May I request you to kindly extend greetings on behalf of the entire industry. And these greetings come with and also to present it to Shri Rajiv Bansalji, respected Secretary, Civil Aviation. And also to Srimati Usha Padi, the Joint Secretary. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to give you an overview of Wings India 2022 and to further welcome each and every one in this August gathering, I would like to invite our Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Srimati Usha Padi.
Good evening and namaskar to everyone. Honorable Minister Civil Aviation who is on his way, Honorable Minister of State Civil Aviation who is here and with his vast experience continue to guide us, our team leader, esteemed Secretary Sir, my colleague from FICCI, Mr. Mailar, all colleagues from Government of India, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the state governments and UT administration, industry captains, dear colleagues from the sector, media persons, and all the invitees. A warm welcome to all of you. Today morning we started with Secretary's Conference, and it was a full house. And we continue to have a discussion since 9:30, sir, till evening, and now we are continuing with this event. And the spirit and enthusiasm was incredible. So this gives a lot of hope that you have decided to come to Delhi physically and participate in the event and believe in the sector that it is going to grow leaps and bounds in future. Friends, I have the responsibility of introducing you to the event, which is not very new. Many of you have been part of this event. This is one of the unique and one of its kind for civil aviation in India. We have one event which is for the defense and aerospace, which is done by HAL every alternative years, that is 2-year once. In between, we do for the civil aviation sector. The intention is to ensure that all our stakeholders come under one umbrella and have an interaction, share the knowledge base, share the technology, share the good practices, and see that everybody will contribute to the sector and make sure this sector is not only boosting the transportation or air transportation, but it is also about becoming a development engine for the nation. The presentation, please. The objective of the event, I have just mentioned that it is not only about bringing all the stakeholders together, but showcasing the achievement of the sector, where we have been incredible growth of civil aviation in the country. Last few months because of the COVID, but many of you can remember the last event of Wings happened in the month of March 2020. So we were all sitting without mask, just thinking that this is going to be one of the normal event which happens, but we never expected. But the overall spirit had been continuing throughout. COVID might have been there, but I know that civil aviation has never stopped. Either they were engaged in cargo, they were engaged in various other activities, taking the people, medical expert, but this is continuing, and I'm happy to say that India as a third domestic market globally has already reached semblance of normalcy. So we are almost like 85% plus of pre-COVID level. So we never expected this jump in such a short period, and we hope that this is going to be continuing and in a very monumental way. Accentuating the synergy, of course, as I said, all of us would be there. That is one platform where state governments, Government of India, industry partners, regulators, CEOs, global captains, all would be there under one roof. And it is not that only that day events would happen, there would be a lot of preparatory events and the post follow-up actions also. We have a lot of experience of previous event where we had shared our experiences. This has led to the reforms. In one of the event in 2018, when we had the interaction with the state, I think Telangana is one government which came up immediately after that, slashed the VAT to 1% after the meeting. We are continuing with other state government with the same understanding, and we hope that by next wings, we will be able to see that most of the states would understand the importance of reducing the taxation and enhancing the scale and make sure that the industry become viable and profitable to set up in those states. Next, please. The 2020 highlights, I will go from the center if you say that the civil aviation subject is a government of India, the central subject or the federal subject, but a lot of action happens in the state, UT, the administration, government, B2G. So we have a lot of participation from various agencies who would be interacting, and still they are. The governments in India are the biggest players in the sector and facilitate the involvement of the private. We had a lot of dignitaries coming there. We had 23 states participated last 2020 event. Lot of airlines who have been present there, and Vistara had inducted their wide body aircraft during the event. We had lot of chalet coming up with various industries. We had G2B meetings around 327. So we have lot of pre-event meetings where we tie up the various meetings and interactions and deliberations. There would be online booking of events and booking of slots with the various meetings. So I request everyone to note this and keep on informing us which are the areas of interest, and you can keep on having those meetings with the stakeholders. We had representation from 35 countries. I see a lot of representation from His Excellencies who have represented various countries. Please take back this information. We have already started working with Ministry of External Affairs. Information has gone to the missions. We will be inviting honorable ministers who would be, which would be from our honorable ministers. Invitation would be going separately. If you have any further clarifications, or if you have any further advice or remarks, please inform us. We will be certainly trying to facilitate all those things. We have around 600 delegates attended the inauguration, and then subsequently participated in 110 exhibition stalls. We had a static display, which was a big attraction. We have stopped the public to come because of the COVID at that point of time, which was just coming in. But still we had a lot of events on static display. Many people had participated. I must thank them for being there last time, and I wish and hope that they would also be here this time. For next one, please. For 2022, it's an event format. We have the same template: inauguration, exhibition, chalets, static display. But one change which we have made since last event was that the Global Aviation Summit, which used to be a separate event under the ministry, we have brought in under the Wings India, which will also have Global CEOs Forum. It is not that we'll have different events, so everything has been brought together so that it can emerge as one of the biggest event or mega event for the civil aviation in India. And we are trying to keep the same type of calendar so that you can book it in advance, and people can plan it very well in advance, and they can be in India during month of March. And venue also we are keeping the same so that they will be able to have sufficient logistic well in advance. We have award ceremony, which is to encourage all our stakeholders who have been there, which is quite a colorful event, a cultural event, which is an attraction during the evenings. The scope of participation, which would be my last slide, on the event, then I will just mention about the Global Aviation Summit which we plan. The scope, as I said, lot of states and UTs, my representatives are here. They would be participating along with their team, which may be from the industry or transportation. They would have the skill development, they have the tourism, so all can be coming as a team to the event. We have honorable ministers of civil aviation from different countries whose arrival we will be anticipating eagerly. Then we have regulators and various other stakeholders who can share their best practices. We have lot of OEMs, engine and aircraft manufacturers. For them, this would be a place where all the airlines would also be coming and participating. Last time, airlines have participated very enthusiastically, and they had also discussed with OEMs. At the same time, they had also interacted with the state governments. Cargo, logistics, security, so we saw a lot of new technology coming in. They wanted to show it to us. Drones, of course, my colleagues are here. The new in-thing, drone and artificial intelligence, and these are a few areas where everybody would are very keen to learn more. We have infrastructure investors. We have helicopter and general aviation also. As I said, it is not only about the commercial operation, it encompasses all the subsector of the civil aviation. And of course, the basic issue which India has been struggling, that leasing and financial various services, so which we have done some new work or initiatives which has been business friendly. So those will also be presented there, and which can be used by the interested participants. Next, please. Then the Global Aviation Summit, which I said we have subsumed into the Wings India, which would be part of the entire activities where the static display, exhibition, B2G, B2B meetings would be happening. There would be a specific structured program for the Global Aviation Summit where we'll have various panel discussions. We have identified some of the topics. In one of the review meeting, our team leader, Secretary Sir, said that we should bring that whatever value proposition, it should not be just having some meetings, but it should be in the interest of the stakeholders, and there should be a quantifiable outcomes of these discussions. Other events would remain same. Then we have a Global Aviation Summit continuing with Drone Sparda. It is nothing but a competition of drone. I think they are also doing some, one big event, I think in the month of December. Amber can explain, I mean like during the interaction you can ask him. So which is a mega event where the India can emerge as a drone hub, and the strength which country is having that can be leveraged. So they are seeing it as a big in thing. And morning Secretary Sir and Amber Dubey was saying that it is like a mobile. It's the mobile of what it used to be there, and now the drone, which has multiple use, and there have been so many innovation in this front. Then we have different subjects which have been listed there. As I said, these are the initial thoughts. If there have been any specific interest shown by some people or some group or community, we will be certainly adding those things. There is one session exclusively for driving innovation. We have a lot of startups, so we would like to focus on those companies which are bringing new ideas to the sector. This is where we want that around 1,000 plus delegations and 50 plus global CEOs would be there. Some of my colleagues were there in Dubai Expo. I was told that a lot of industry captains and some of the companies have already shown interest, and they have confirmed their participation with their products. So we look forward for participation of all of you. Please take this message to your country, your organization, your state, and make sure that you will be participating with full strength in this event. Please be in touch if there are any suggestions or any logistic you would like to have specifically during the event or before the event. Please keep in touch. We'll try to come up to your expectations. Thank you very much for your patient hearing, and I look forward to meet you all during these activities which will be leading to Wings India 22 in the month of March. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing with us the very promise of this mega event, which is Asia's largest event in the civil aviation sector, and it covers business, commercial, as well as general aviation, and also to some extent the aerospace. And the best platform, in fact, where the buyers, the sellers, the investors, and the other stakeholders come on a common vantage forum. And also, as Telangana is the aviation hub, that's the most preferred destination and the host of this event, also briefing us about the Global Aviation Summit. And ladies and gentlemen, towards Wings India 2022, one of the key partners is the Airports Authority of India, and we have Shri Sanjeev Kumarji present with us. We welcome you, sir. I would like to request once again Remy Malad to please present the planter, extending our good wishes, and yes, the commitment as it comes from the tire industry towards all working together towards the green growth of the industry and of the nation. And now I would like to request respected Secretary Shri Rajiv Bansalji to please address this August gathering.
Honorable Minister of State for Civil Aviation, General V.K. Singh Ji, my colleagues on the dais, my friend Remy Malad from Airbus, excellencies from the various missions in India, my senior friends from the state governments, ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues from my ministry and media persons. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. As an organizer for the Wings 2022 event, along with FICCI, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you here today. And what more pleasure can we get as organizers for this event to see a full house today. Thank you so very much for joining us today. And as an organizer, it gives me great pleasure to see that we are running out of seats and we are having to add seats to the hall. There can be no better endorsement of the fact that there is enthusiasm amongst all the stakeholders of this community to be present here in this curtain raiser and also to be present in the Wings 2020 event in March next year in Hyderabad. I only want to leave one thought with you today, that India was growing, the Indian domestic civil aviation sector was growing pre-COVID. It went through a bit of a course correction because of COVID, but it will grow again. It will grow again. It is already almost back to pre-COVID levels, and we will continue to grow. We will continue to grow faster than what we were growing earlier. Our airports are growing, our greenfield airports are growing, our brownfield airports are growing. The number of aircraft are growing, the number of small aircraft are growing, the number of large aircraft are growing. It's obviously good news to the aircraft manufacturers that we are witnessing growth in the entire spectrum of aircraft. Our MROs are growing, our seaplanes are growing, our helicopter density is growing. Our base is so low that there is a huge upside available for us. So even with a little bit of support on the infrastructure segment, everything in this country will grow. Our economy is growing. We're looking for a 5 trillion economy going forward. We are already at halfway mark. Economic growth will translate into growth in our domestic aviation sector. What more evidence can we see of that than to see today that a new airline is coming into our skies, and they have placed an order for 72 Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. It is an evidence of the fact that there is interest in our sector and that there is an upside potential which is seen by investors in this sector. We have added now, in fact, one more segment in our ministry, which is the drone segment. We again see huge potential, huge upside, huge growth in this sector. Drones have widespread application. They have application in agriculture, they have application in health delivery, health services delivery, they have application in agriculture, they have application in security, they have application in defense. You name it, and there's an application where drones can help you. As we have been saying, drones will be the next mobiles. There will be millions of drones which will be there in our skies. We've taken steps over the last 3 months to liberalize our drone rules. We've taken steps to publish a digital sky map. We've taken steps to publish a new drones air traffic management framework. All these will help facilitate and encourage the growth of the drone industry. We've also put in place a production-linked incentive scheme for promoting manufacturing as well as startups in this sector. So this is yet another area which is going to witness tremendous growth in the coming years. I think that is the thought that I would like to leave with everybody here, that growth and civil aviation in India are synonymous. It is just going to keep growing, and it is really my proud privilege that I stand here today, and it is my privilege to lead this sector which is going to witness stupendous growth going forward. All of you who are here today are our stakeholders. You are not only our worthy travelers in our airlines, you are also contributing to our growth in your own way. Many of you are bringing in technology, many of you are bringing in investment, many of you are bringing in skills, and the states are bringing in the infrastructure. You are all key stakeholders for us. In fact, we in the ministry are merely facilitators. We are there to assist, to help, and to encourage. It is with this thought that the Wings events are organized. They are organized every alternate year. As my colleague Usha was saying, 2 years back we were in Hyderabad and we were without masks, and I'm sure that next year in March, when we will meet in this event, we will again be without masks. We look forward to your presence, your participation, and your presence in the event in March. I once again welcome all of you to this curtain raiser event today, as well as your participation in the event in March. I'm really happy that our Honorable Minister is here, Minister of State is here. He's been a pillar of support and encouragement. He brings to our ministry years of experience in a very specialized area, and he has been supporting us in our growth journey. And under his leadership, as well as under the leadership of the Cabinet Minister who will be joining us here soon, we are confident that we will achieve the targets that we have set before us. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this very optimistic message. And as you said, our growth indicators stand testimony to the growth and the development which India right now is exhibiting. This is India's time, and this is the best place to be here, and best time to be here and be part of the growth story of India. I would now like to request Shri Sanjeev Kumarji, Chairman, Airports Authority of India, to please share his perspective.
Thank you very much. I was supposed to give the welcome address, but unfortunately I got delayed. My apologies for that. Honorable Minister of State, General V.K. Singh Ji, Honorable Secretary, Civil Aviation, Government of India, Sri Rajiv Bansal Ji, my colleague in the ministry, Usha Padhi Ji, Sri Remy Maillard, Chairman of the FICCI Civil Aviation Committee and President and MD of the Airbus Group. I'm thankful to all of you, the dignitaries who have come here on our invitation to this prestigious and important event for civil aviation sector in India, which is organized, as has been told earlier, every 2 years. I welcome all diplomats, His Excellency's ambassadors, colleague from ministry, colleague from AI, colleague from different stakeholders, airlines, airports, and all other people who represent industry in one manner or other. I guess that there's no time to give formal welcome now, which is already, the event has already started, the curtain raiser. As Airport Authority of India, we are very privileged to be part of this very important and prestigious event, which not only showcase the strides which have been made by country in the civil aviation sector, but also give glimpse of opportunities which would be available in civil aviation sector in our country. As has been told by Usha ji and Secretary sir, civil aviation sector before COVID has been growing at a CAGR of more than 11% in the last 10 years or so. And as one can see very clearly, without even doing any number crunching, that this country is going to continue to grow more or less at the same CAGR, if not more. And this means lots of opportunity to all of us, not only for our own company, not only to our own employees, but to the nation as a whole. Mobility being probably one of the most important, if not the most important, one of the most important catalyst for growth. And civil aviation, that is mobility through sky, is certainly the game changer. We can see in the history, by having just a small look at the history of the civil aviation, the way it is changing the economies of the country. So as a AI chairman, I look forward to this opportunity and to support this growth by improving the infrastructure for airports, by adding more airports, improving the existing airport, improving the capacity of existing airport, bringing in the modern technology for servicing our passengers. As a provider of ANS services, I see this as an opportunity to serve the growing demand of ANS services in managing the increasing traffic. Drones is a new chapter. which, as very rightly told by Secretary Sir, would be like mobile, omnipresent everywhere, changing the economy of various sectors, bringing in the unforeseen economy. So we as a AI also feeling very privileged to be part of the journey which drone sector would undertake because of the changed rules, because of the changed ecosystem, and most of all because of changed mindset of regulations in the drone sector. So at the end, friends, I welcome all of you as Chairman AI and feel very privileged to be part of this important journey. And I assure you all that we will play our part effectively in this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your perspective. And as you said, that this is a very opportune time and a very opportune platform, Wings India 2022, where all stakeholders can be part of the growing aviation sector, not only reaping the benefits of it, of the sector, but at the same time contributing and further growing with the sector. And now I would like to request our distinguished guest of honor, General Dr. V.K. Singh, Honorable Minister of State, Civil Aviation, to please address the August gathering.
Our Secretary Civil Aviation, Shri Rajiv Bansal, Chairman Airport Authority of India, Sanjeev Kumarji, our Joint Secretary who has been working very hard to ensure that this event really becomes successful and the coming event also becomes successful, Srimati Usha Padhi, all our members of the Aviation Ministry and all its affiliates, all our excellencies and members of the diplomatic corps who are present here. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Members who have come from the states and union territories for the meeting today and who are going to continue tomorrow. All members of the media and all those who are assisting us in this event, our partners for this event, FICCI, and headed by Shri Remy Mallard, the Chairman, Aviation Committee and President and MD of the Airbus Group. It's a pleasure to have you with us and to have this curtain raiser where we are trying to tell you as to what is in store in the coming March. The last event that we held, Wings, was before COVID started. And optimistically, I'll hope that when we have the event in March, COVID probably would be on the wane. And your participation will make a difference to how things will shape up for the future of aviation in India, which is actually growing. India, in all parameters and economic indices, has emerged as one of the hopefuls for the world. And therefore, it is picking up in various sectors. Today, we have the largest numbers of unicorns and startups. In various fields, we are doing extremely well. Hopefully, by year end, we'll have majority of our population totally vaccinated and protected. And if you look at the way aviation is picking up, you have already been told that we are passenger traffic wise and otherwise we are already at pre-COVID levels, and we are going to soon surge ahead depending on how the COVID control measures take place. So in this market, the great opportunities for each one who's connected to the aviation industry. You can manufacture, you can have joint ventures, you can sell, you can lease, and you can create and be partners in infrastructure with us. So there is a great amount of opportunity where the business is concerned. And I personally would feel that anybody who misses the opportunity probably would be a loser. So there is a great amount that is happening, and when you come here in March next year with your wares, with your ideas, with your technology, please come with this in mind that in India there will be many takers for that. There will be many people who would like to woo you so that we can partner you and surge ahead in this growing aviation market. At the same time, it would be a pleasure to know from you as to what changes do you want. We are changing many things. We are digitizing, we are ensuring that there are compliances are lesser. We are ensuring that compliances are made time-bound so that things become that much better. And therefore, wherever you feel some changes are required, wherever you feel it can make things better for business, please do tell us so that we can take note of it and see as to how we can bring it in for the betterment of the industry and for businesses that will come here. So it's a win-win where the whole chessboard is concerned, because from business point of view, what you bring, you win on that, and from the aviation growth point of view, we win for what we gain from you. Now there is a issue where I would like to tell our members who have come from the states and union territories. A great amount depends on the states and union territories. We can only push to a certain extent. The remainder, bureaucratic red tape and shackles have to be broken by you. You have to wield that scissor in your hand to ensure that red tape is minimized and things are made faster. You would have felt that many a times things do get stuck because like what I term, the files are sent on a wild goose chase. By the time they surface, time is over. So I think we have to stop this wild goose chase and ensure that at least in this sector, there's a great amount of harmony between states and us so that we can take the things forward and ensure that states reap the benefit. After all, connectivity is to places in the states and union territories. You want to make lives of your citizens better, you want to have more revenue, you want to ensure that you are connected to many other places in the country, effort has to be made by you. And there are many things which are in the offing. The minister has already spoken to your chief ministers, telling them that we need to bring down the VAT on aviation turbine fuel. It's the revenue that you are gaining is not much, but what you will gain by bringing it down will be tremendous. Please remember that. And I firmly believe that there's a model of business which existed in India. For ease of any explanation, I call it the Marwadi business model. You know where the Marwadis went all over the country. They're settled from Chennai to Nagaland to anywhere in the country. And they had a very simple model. They went, found out what is needed, ensured that it was provided at a lesser price, and after that, as people became dependent, their business grew and they became richer. So, states should remember that. It is to your benefit when you bring down the prices of VAT and ensure that more flights come in into your areas. We would welcome that. There are many states which haven't yet done it, and all of you who are attending these 2 days, when you go back, please ensure that this is one aspect that you push in your own states and ensure that that brings in more number of flights, more number of airfields that come up in your areas, and things become that much better. The Honorable Prime Minister has got a big target of ensuring that many more new airfields come up, many more routes in the regional connectivity increase, so that it becomes better for a common man to travel. Because more the numbers, you will find that ultimately the travel also will become cheaper. And it assists a common man in saving time and reaching places which he has not been able to reach earlier. It gives a boost to business and tourism and many other things. And therefore, I think wherever it is needed in your state, and if you actually go to the people, they will tell you, I think it is needed in every possible city, every possible district. So do look at it seriously. We are partners. Tell us as to what is needed. Of course, certain amount of effort has to come from you and not just from the center. We are there to assist you, but the push has to be from you. And where our diplomatic corps is concerned, I think a good word from you back home will make a difference in ensuring that the business starts looking at this particular sector seriously so that they can come in and reap the benefits of partnering with us. Having said all this, I think I'll stop here and wish great amount of success to not only this particular curtain raiser that we are all meeting in, but what comes on in March next year. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir, for sharing with us the vision and the mission which the Government of India has for the aviation sector. And towards that, sharing your perspective on how the various stakeholders can be partners towards building and bringing in greater success and prosperity to the Indian aviation sector. Ladies and gentlemen, FICCI, many of you might be knowing, has a very dedicated team, a committee on the aviation, and which has been working towards promoting the cause and the interest of the Indian aviation sector, trying to put it on the global map and towards that making it a more cost-effective and competent and an efficient sector of the Indian economy. We have Shri Remy Malad, who's the chairman of the FICCI Civil Aviation Committee, and he's also the president and the MD of Airbus Group. So I would now like to invite him to share his perspective as the chairman of the FICCI committee and also as the MD of Airbus.
So good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. Respected Honorable Minister, General V.K. Singhji, Secretary Moka, Sri Bansalji, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, well, like many of you probably, I have just returned from Dubai Air Show. And I can tell you that Dubai was a good show, but Wings India will be even better. What I saw in Dubai, what we felt in Dubai, is a wind of optimism for our aviation sector. And I'm sure you've seen that there is optimism in the air, and we saw airline operators and leasing companies place some significant deals, including in India. So there is little doubt that our sector is now under revival, and I think that was mentioned by my friend Secretary Benzal. We are growing now. And as the world further relaxes restriction, air traffic, both domestically and internationally, will rebound across the world. Globally, passenger traffic has demonstrated resilience. It is now set to record an annual growth of 3.9%, driven by expanding economies and commerce, including tourism. At home in India, we are probably through the worst now, and people are more confident about the risks of travel, and which is why we're already on the course to touch pre-COVID levels when it comes to air traffic, and we are seeing higher cargo volumes. I'm confident that India will be among the markets leading the global aviation recovery. However, while air traffic is rebounding, the sector remains quite stressed. Cash positions and margins of all stakeholders across the value chain continue to be under severe pressure. Indian Airlines are likely to incur consolidated loss of about $4.1 billion in this financial year, which is something similar to the losses made during fiscal year 2021 during the pandemic. So today the aviation sector is like a patient that has emerged from the ICU, but that requires constant hospital care. So the recovery remains fragile. And the sector is still in need for policy support, and I'm sure that the MOCA is quite active in this policy support in terms of easier travel rules, universal vaccination protocols, obviously lower ATF prices, lower fixed expenses, and removal of fare caps to ensure a full and sustainable recovery. Well, friends, the COVID-19 has altered aviation, and the coming years will be a period of major innovation and change in the sector. On the technology front, we will see continued improvement in terms of fleet efficiency, sustainable fuels, operation, and propulsion technologies that will enable the sector's 2050 net zero emission objective. Retirement of older aircraft will also accelerate, and demand will also be driven by replacement, supporting the industry's decarbonization objectives. So this means that there is much to look forward as we head into 2022, and I'm sure the recovery momentum we see now will continue until Wings India and beyond. So I've just learned that there is strong demand for space from exhibitors at Wings India, and I believe that no aviation company will want to miss out on Wings India, a flagship commercial aviation exhibition. So after Dubai, we will make India, we'll make Wings India, we'll make Hyderabad a major milestone in our aviation journey towards sustainability. So on behalf of Fiki, thank you for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you all in Hyderabad in March next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Millard. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just waiting for the arrival of the Honorable Minister. He is on his way, joining us any time now. But I would like to request Mr. Sandeep Behel, who's present with us, the head US ACP, regarding his experiences, if he can share with us, of Wings India 2020. I'm sure that that's going to be giving a greater confidence to the people present here. Good experience, experiential views of yours, motivating, inspiring others to be part of Wings 2022.
Thank you, Remy, for the kind introduction. And sir, thank you so much to be here today. I think General Sir is here first time for the Wings curtain raiser. But, and I also want to say hello to Sir. to Secretary Mr. Bansal, as well as our AI chairman, and of course Usha Padiji and Remy. Thank you, Remy, for putting the context in place for Wings. You know, I represent US companies which are in civil aviation in India. And from past 4 years, I've been in India. We've been actively participating. The great thing is, the last one that we did, the biggest thing there was a 787-9, it was, I think. It was the only big plane. It was the recently delivered from Boeing to Vistara. And that was the biggest one when everyone was walking into it. And I think then we have Pratt & Whitney with the big show there. We have FedEx, Logistics Plus, as well as Bell helicopters. I think they were also on the display. What I want to tell you is this. The Wings represent for US companies a great platform to showcase their products and the services and the technology, but also some of the best practices that we can share with our partners in India. As Remy mentioned earlier, India is growing pretty fast. Civil aviation is growing pretty fast. The bubble that we are all worried about, I know His Excellency is here, are all worried about this bubble. Some of the countries haven't seen the flight starting up. I'm sure people on the dais are working on it, where the bubble is going to go, hopefully, and then we'll get much more of the traffic coming into India or going out of India. One thing I want to let you know, Minister Sir is coming. Continue. Yeah. Good evening, sir. So these claps were for sir or for me? Oh, maybe for sir. Thank you. I want to also say, I want to wrap it up quickly, that we are looking forward to see you all there. And with the US companies, many of them are here. We will be there, and we will welcome you all at Wings in March next year. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for endorsing Wings India 2022. I'm sure, as you said, there's an opportunity for everyone, and we are opening doors to the world to be part of Wings India 2022. We thank our Honorable Minister for joining us, and as we were mentioning earlier, this event is being organized under the very dynamic and passionate leadership of Honorable Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, who has been extending the much desired fillip to this sector, and I feel all of us agree that this is one sector which has faced the maximum brunt of the pandemic, but we are now opening up and ready to hit the runway and rebuild back better. Towards that, we thank the Honorable Minister for his continuous encouragement, support, and push and motivation. So as we thank him, may I once again request Remy Malad to please present the plant. And please join us, ladies and gentlemen, as we express our heartfelt thanks, gratitude. Welcome to the Honorable Minister. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, till now we have given you a little sneak peek into Wings India 2022, and now raising the curtain, we now have the brochure release of Wings India 2022. I would like to request our Honorable Minister to please release the brochure. So that's the brochure of Wings India 2022, giving you in-depth information about the event. We'll be yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request the Honorable Minister to also unveil, to release the promo video of Wings India 2022.
Indian Aviation, Flying High. Wings India 2020, the biennial civil aviation and aerospace event, was launched at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad by Ministry of Civil Aviation and Airports Authority of India, together with Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, from 12th to 15th March 2020, on the theme of Flying for All. Currently, India is the 7th largest civil aviation market in the world and the 3rd largest aviation market in terms of domestic operations. The objective of the event was to bring stakeholders from both developed and emerging economies to deliberate and discuss the opportunities and challenges in the civil aviation sector in India. The event had a special focus on connecting the cities and towns, aimed at increasing the regional connectivity in the country. It aims to be the most comprehensive platform in the region for the interactions, forging alliances, investments and air connectivity between the states and the global aviation players or stakeholders. The exhibition spread over an area of 10,000 square meters, with about 110 exhibitors showcasing eco-friendly technologies, leasing and financing services, industry-driven training in aviation, supportive and conducive engines maintaining the longevity of aircrafts and latest aircrafts manufactured, which results in cost-cutting of the industry. There were 11 chalets built for industry players like Dassault, Honda Jet, Embraer, Gulfstream. The conference focused on policy issues and business aspects. Eminent speakers, policymakers and experts from around the globe addressed the conference. 5 panel discussion and sessions, 3 roundtables along with the CEO Forum were part of the robust Global Aviation Summit. A series of 327 B2G meetings were organized with the state and UTs, with airlines, helicopter operators, airport operators and MROs. The global event witnessed overwhelming participation of expats from 35 different countries living in India. Over 600 national and international delegates participated in respective forums. Also, 23 states and union territories of India participated in the event. FICCI MOCA Deloitte Udan 4.0 Plus knowledge paper on the changing landscape of Indian aviation sector under Regional Connectivity Scheme was also released during the event. The aerobatic show showcased the Extra 300L by Mark Jeffrey team and ALH Dhruv helicopters by Indian Air Force's Saranga team. As India continues to emerge towards playing a dominant role globally, its aviation sector cannot be overlooked. This sector acts as a growth multiplier, including economic output, jobs and trade, enabled through better connectivity, and has proved to be one of the largest contributor to the Make in India initiative. The growth must be leveraged and policy interventions impacting the sector are necessary. With all measures taken, for Indian aviation, the sky is the limit.
We are organizing the Wings this year. The last one was just before the COVID started in 2020. The venue remains as Begumpet Airport, and you know how the aviation market is proceeding in India. We see tremendous amount of growth in this field, and therefore we would like to invite you to come, show your wares, show your technology, show the various things that will profit you and profit us in terms of civil aviation. This is an excellent opportunity for you to come over to India and to take part in the growth of aviation in India, which will also benefit you, whether you want to set up a joint venture in India, whether you want to set up your own venture in India, or you want to participate with any other industry working in this field in India. Welcome. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Wings India is a flagship event for the civil aviation sector in India. This year's edition, we look forward to a new dawn post the period of COVID, which has had a disastrous impact across industries across the globe. We are emerging from this stronger, fitter, and keener to serve our customers. India presents a unique opportunity in the civil aviation sector across the globe. We are a market which has very high aspirations. We are a market that believe in very, very high customer value propositions. We are a market that will experience probably the highest compounded annual growth rate in the civil aviation sector across the world in any country. Therefore, I welcome you all to Wings 2022. Come and participate in the growth enterprise that India represents. I look forward to meeting with all our stakeholders to take forward our goal of promoting civil aviation in the spirit of constructive collaboration. I must thank, in addition to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Airports Authority of India, and FICCI, in coming together to make this event possible. I look forward to being with all of you from the 24th to 27th of March 2022 to participate in India's opportunity in the area of civil aviation. And through Wings 2022, may India soar in the years to come and attain its rightful place through strong air and civil aviation sector growth by spurring on India's wings to attain new heights. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Boarding now to Wings India 2022 from 24th to 27th March.
So that is, ladies and gentlemen, Wings India 2022. And as a nation, as we are celebrating 75 years of our independence, Azadi ke is Amrit Mahotsav mein, it has also a very befitting theme, India at 75, New Horizon for the aviation industry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with tomorrow in mind, as we look to this new dawn, we now seek the views and the guidance of our Honorable Minister, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji. I request him to please address this august gathering.
Seated on the dais with me, General V.K. Singh Sahib, Minister of State, our Secretary, Rajiv Bansal ji, Chairman Airports Authority of India, Sanjeev Kumar ji, Joint Secretary in my ministry, Srimati Usha Padhi ji, Remy Maya, representative of the aircraft industry here in India, many excellencies present here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was just cogitating in my mind and asking General Saab that after this detailed video presentation, I don't think there's much left to be said. And I wouldn't want to come between you and the wonderful arrangements that have been made for dinner tonight. I think everyone's worked up an appetite and had a very, very long day today. But nevertheless, let me just say this, that Wings India represents a great opportunity for India and our neighborhood. The potential that we represent as a nation of 1.3 billion people, a nation that is aspirational, a nation that has tremendous potential, a nation that aspires to be in the top echelon of the Committee of Nations. And here is an opportunity to be able to coalesce, an opportunity to build very, very strong roots
of the ecosystem that our industry represents. Our industry is not all about and only about airports and airplanes. There is much more to our industry, which I have learned over the last 2 to 3 months that I've held charge of this ministry. We have to build our ecosystem. The airline industry is fundamentally built on its ecosystem. And that ecosystem has very strong underpinnings and very strong roots across the value chain. From manufacturing, which is the core, which involves engineering, which involves IT, which will now involve AI, which will now involve nanotechnology, which will now involve drones. So moving from product to service, airports, airlines, MROs, FTOs, cargo, ground handling, drone delivery. So from product graduating to service, and both product and service resulting in both multipliers, economic multipliers and employment multipliers. Economic multipliers of close to 3.25, i.e. each dollar invested in civil aviation yields $3.25 in terms of economic output. And employment multipliers, i.e. every direct job generated by civil aviation results in 6.1 indirect employment opportunities. That potential cannot be replicated by many industries across the world. And I think this is the apt time. As our Prime Minister always says, every adversity, every challenge presents an opportunity. And we, at the Civil Aviation Ministry, have been working extremely hard over the last year and a half. Not only during my tenure, but my predecessors as well, to provide that value proposition, to provide that transition, to provide that inflection point, to provide that paradigm shift. And we invite all of you as participants in this journey. I've said this many a time. I have oft repeated this, that our ministry wants to work as a collaborator along with all our stakeholders. We believe in working not on a square or a rectangular table, but we believe on working on a round table, where we believe that we are one among equals with all our stakeholders. In your success lies our success. And that's the spirit that we would like to work with going forward. India presents tremendous opportunities. I think that brochure has a lot of data in it. Some of it incorrect, let me say this as well. i.e. like the number of airports. There were 74 airports that have been built in the last 75 years of our existence, prior to 2014. So the last 68 years of our existence. And in the last 6 years, under the pioneering leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we have built an additional 62 airports. So we've almost doubled the number of airports in the last 7 years in India. And we hope to go from 136 today to close to about 220 over the next 5 to 7 years. That's the kind of expansion. And that expansion will result, that horizontal expansion will result in vertical depth in terms of regional airlines, in terms of helicopters, which is why we've come up with a new helicopter policy, a new MRO policy, a new flying training organization policy. We want to make sure that we are able to spur your growth. That is our charter. That is our task. So join us in Wings 2022 from the 24th to 27th of March in Begumpet in Hyderabad, where we bring this vision together, and let's work together to make that vision into a reality for India and for the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir, for giving this clarion call to all stakeholders, as you said, to be part of this expanding horizon of the Indian aviation sector, which can be the key driver towards the economic growth and providing employment to the people, bringing in prosperity to the people, and yes, prosperity to all the stakeholders. Thank you, sir. And without much ado, as we come to the conclusion of this event, I would like to invite Mr. Rami Malad to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks along with his concluding remarks.
Well, a lot has been said, so I will make it quick. I've been in India for some time now, and I now feel Indian, but I still come with the perspective from Europe, from other countries. And what I can tell you is that what we have in India is unique. The energy in India is unique. The support from the government is unique. The expertise, the competence, the resilient airlines, the growing supply chain. This is unique. The center of gravity of aviation is moving east. And I'm pretty sure that the center of gravity of aviation will land in India, and it will land in Hyderabad in March 2022. We have all the ingredients in India to make this ecosystem that the Honorable Minister mentioned a winning ecosystem for all stakeholders. Now we have to recognize that we're still bleeding because of COVID. We're not out of the woods yet, but we have everything to get stronger out of this crisis. And I'm very confident that Wings 2022 will be a major milestone in our journey towards recovery and towards sustainability. It is my belief that there will be no future for aviation if it's not a sustainable aviation. And I'm convinced that all together, from India, we can boost a sustainable aviation. So I thank you all for your participation tonight. I thank the Honorable Ministers, the Honorable Secretary, all dignitaries, all my friends from the industry, and again, I look forward to seeing you in Hyderabad next year. Have a good evening, have a good dinner, see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this unique potential and strength of India, we're all ready to scale greater heights. Welcoming all of you to be part of Wings India 2022. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of this curtain raiser event. Many thanks once again to our distinguished dignitaries, thanking Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, thanking General Dr. V.K. Singh ji, Shri Rajiv Bansal ji, thanking the Chairman, Airports Authority of India, and all present. Please, ladies and gentlemen, join us now for dinner. Thank you.